Hello and welcome back to another video. I am so glad that you're here. On this channel, I talk about news, controversies, and drama on the bookish side of the internet, and I certainly hope that you will stick around. So today we are covering a subject that we've actually covered in the past, and that is the boundaries between authors and readers, and where is the line between what is appropriate and what isn't. So a few weeks back, a reviewer named Naja posted a scathing review on Goodreads of a book called Shots Fired by Ruth Stilling. And there was quite a bit of backlash from diehard fans of this author. The review itself is really, really long, and the review content is not really relevant to the story I'm telling here. Just know that it was ridiculously long and had absolutely no mercy. I will make a community tab post with screenshots of it if you are interested in reading the whole thing, but some of the criticisms in it were valid. Some did seem over the top, but it's a website for reviewers, so she's allowed to post whatever she wants to. And she did start the review with the following disclaimer, which did not start her off as coming from a super, reasonable, rational place. So this is how she opens the review. Disclaimer, I'm not usually so rude or mean in my reviews, but due to the author acting like the biggest fucking child and blocking me after I posted my negative review of the last book in the series here on Goodreads, I no longer care about holding back or being nice. She blocked both my Booksta and personal account, and I'm sure I was easy to find since I have a unique name. So if I'm not allowed to express my opinions on a reader's site without getting blocked, fuck you. Especially since I've been hyping her books up since day one, even the ones I didn't like, because I respected her and what she does. But oh well, good riddance now. So here's my completely unhinged review of this shit show. I want to start by saying that I requested this book before I got blocked for expressing my opinion, and before the second book was even out. So why she went through the trouble of locating my Instagram accounts to block me, but didn't remove me from the ARC team is beyond me. Make it make sense. So bulk up, I think she means buckle up. Grab your drink of choice, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's a long one, you're gonna be here a while. Then she goes on with the really, really intense review. So shortly after posting her review, Naja realized her review kept getting reported to Goodreads in an attempt to get it taken down. And then someone leaked this from the author's street team group chat. So the group is called Aching for Archer, who is the male lead character in this book. And Wordsmith Publicity puts a link to her review and then says, "Hello team, we would appreciate if you could report this review on Goodreads. Please do not comment or engage with this person, as it will 1. Bring more attention to the review and move it up on the Shots Fired feed. 2. It could blow up and make things 10 times worse." All we're asking is for you to report the review. You're not obligated in any way to do this, but it would be appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, this is not a good look. Not only is manipulating reviews against Goodreads' terms of service, but pretty unethical. As I said, the original poster of this message is the PR company that the author is using. So actually, that is even worse, because a PR company should know that when this inevitably got out, which it always was going to, it was going to be incredibly hard to come back from. So here are some more messages from this group chat. Someone else posted, I don't know, this was a civilian, for lack of a better term, not a company, a regular person. Please can everyone report the following: Naja's 1-star review of Shots Fired on Goodreads. Report all 3 comments on Naja's review, as these all contain accusations. Go to Naja's profile and report user. She is actively harassing. Please do not interact, comment, or respond to anything. Please also do not post, share, or screenshot any negative parts of the reviews or comments in here, as this is not helpful to Ruth. Team Stilling will prevail. Love to all. And just a bunch of comments. I obviously, blacked out everyone's name and pictures, but some comments. You guys didn't warn me. She has written an entire essay. You don't have to like a book, but to be so cruel and nasty, I reported for harassment, as that's just downright rude. She is delusional to the max. So I totally missed something, but as a Playing for Keeps lover, multiple copies, the 2 books' only thing in common is that they include hockey. So that was something that was included in her review, was how similar this book was to another book called Playing for Keeps, and I don't know if it's true or not, but they're both about hockey, and so she's saying that's the only thing that they have in common. Apparently only one author in the world can write hockey. Essentially, this review from Naja has brought out a wave of people who last year accused Boarded Hearts of copying Jasper by Lulu Moore and Consider Me by Becca Mack. Boarded Hearts is another book by this author, Ruth Stilling. If you report the comments as well as the review, this will help. I've reported review, her profile, and the comments. What vile people. I also have done this. OMG, how awful. I'll definitely report. What a vile human. I don't know why I decided to look at some of her other one-star reviews, but she is vile and just cruel to these authors and their works when she doesn't like them. They really like the word vile in this group. It's so disheartening to see. I also went on to her profile page and saw for Hannah Gray's Fool Me Once, she gave 1 star because she felt the female main character was idiotic, weak-willed, and just plain stupid. The female main character was a woman who left a DV issue. I've reported. And someone replies to that, that's her opinion, but what's unacceptable is harassing and viciously tearing down a book just because the author blocked her. I've reported her review and her profile. Also, especially attacking authors in reviews is pathetic behavior. I don't care that Goodreads is reader space. That doesn't give anyone the right to verbally attack an author and say hateful shit. I reported all and her profile. Having an opinion on a book is one thing, but completely belittling and harassing an author is another, and absolutely not okay. I think they're kind of going a little nuts here, as just, they're really taking it really far, because yeah, she called her names. None of that was very kind, but like, I don't know if she's harassing her just by posting this review, but we'll get there. There's more. Oh, Ruth, this is awful. Look after yourself and soak up all the love for the world you have created at Rare this weekend, which is a book signing event. Off to report this Delulu cow again. Thanks for the info. And then Ruth herself says, hey, loves, I promise I'm doing okay. I'll be at Rare. I'll be screaming about Archer and Darcy. I can't wait for them to be out in the world. We're all just living in our Darcher bubble. Right now, I just need to sleep. Just caught up. What an absolute nutcase. As others have said, know that we love you and will always have your back. Just went to see for myself, and wow, it's worse than I thought. I wish I could report multiple times. Massive hugs, Ruth. I'm so sad this is happening. We're all behind you 100% and sending all the love. What have I missed? Whatever. So after all the reviews got reported, Naja took to Threads to post the above screenshot of the PR company saying to report her review, and people had a lot to say. So a user called Zombie Author Mom says, being an author means having thick skin. I laugh at some of my worst reviews. My favorite. What a shitty series. You can't please everyone, which is a lesson she needs to learn. On the other side of that, just let it roll off your back. Don't attack her for her immaturity. She'll learn and grow as life goes on. And She-Wolf's Shelf, this is Naja, the original poster of the review, says, she definitely needs thick skin and also to learn that messing with people's reviews is review manipulation. That's way more serious than just a bad review. This is wild, OMG. This is insane. Taking this book off my TBR immediately. Rin Author says, while it isn't okay of any author or PR team, I have to ask why you chose to read this book as an ARC reader if it wasn't up your alley. Did you read and like the first book? Was this in your genre and matching what you like? ARC readers should read things they actually like and are privy to give the book and author a fair chance. If this was something up your alley and it was just solely the book, I understand your frustration of not being amazed by a book and hope you have a better read. And she says, I actually read and enjoyed the entire first series, so I genuinely had high expectations for this one. Hockey romance is one of my favorite genres, so it's not like I picked something outside my lane just to dislike it. That said, I thought book 1 in the series was meh, and I didn't like book 2, but because I loved her previous work, I still gave this one a chance. It just didn't work for me, and that's what my review reflected. So, this isn't entirely true. She may have enjoyed Ruth's first series, yes, but this is book 3 of a new series, and she hasn't been positive about the others at all. This is what she wrote about the first book in the series, and, like, the actual content of the review, like, as far as knowing what's what, isn't important. It's just important the tone. That's what we're getting at. So she gave it 2.5 stars, 1.5 chili peppers. Yeah, I didn't like this at all. There were so many things wrong with it, and I don't even know where to begin. First of all, I still stand by what I said about the epilogue of Ruled Out. The Morgans moving to New York made absolutely no sense. Their entire family and friend group is in Seattle, so uprating everyone just for Jack felt completely ridiculous. Honestly, Jack should have gone on his own instead of dragging the whole family with him. It would have made more sense and kept the found family dynamic. Then there's the whole Jack taking John's last name thing, which made zero sense. It's been stated over and over that while Felicity's ex wasn't a great husband, he was actually a good dad. Jack doesn't like his dad because he wanted him to go into finance instead of hockey. You get it. Like, she's really picking a lot of details apart, it seems. So, giving this 2.5 stars seems generous considering what she had to say about the book. If I'm writing a review about, like, that kind of level of dislike, it's not going to be 2.5 stars. So, we all have our own different, like, mental rating systems, but just throwing it out there. Okay, so she's tried book 1, wasn't her favorite, still gonna give book 2 a chance. Nothing wrong with that. She gave this one 2 stars and 2 chili peppers. After finishing Total Shutdown, it's clearer than ever to me that Ruth has completely lost her way as an author. It started becoming obvious with Ruled Out, the final book in her previous series, but Perfect Deke, the first book in this new series, really drove the point home, and Total Shutdown just cemented it. I already didn't like Perfect Deke, but somehow this one was even worse. Collins, what even is that name, is straight up awful. She's cold, condescending, and treats Sawyer like crap for no reason. They're sleeping together, and she calls the sex average because he didn't know she was into kink, despite her never once communicating that. She rates him a 6, seriously, mocks his fading tattoos as if being 35 makes him a senior citizen, and acts like she's the hottest thing alive while treating him with zero respect. There's no chemistry, none. You get it. So while I didn't screenshot the entire review for either of these, neither of them ever highlights anything good about the book. And so based on that, I would not even really think she wanted to keep reading this series. So, okay, after these reviews of books 1 and 2, the author blocks her. I've discussed it before, but there is absolutely no reason why Ruth shouldn't block someone whose reviews upset her. And that's completely within her rights, and I don't blame her for it. But trying to get the review taken down is wild. Litlark says, absolutely wild an author and or PR company would send a whole team of people after one reviewer for a valid review of a book just because it's negative. Does this PR company not have any PR training or brain cells, honestly? You don't need to be a PR professional to know that this behavior is beyond unethical. 10,000% will not be reading anything from this author, Ruth Stilling, or working with the PR company Wordsmith Publicity on this. And for more context, I'll link this from the reviewer herself, absolutely insane behavior from the author and PR company. And then she links what we've already seen. Author Jay Sterling says, I just wanted to say that the author might not even be aware this is going on. I might be wrong, but it's definitely a possibility. Litlark says, that's valid. I would definitely take that part back if it comes out she was unaware of this behavior from the PR company, but as of now, I'm going to err on the side of caution. And she says, I only say that because I've had PR companies speak on my behalf without my knowledge or consent. Someone else named bookloverlaurablog chimes in, she is aware that her PR company is doing this. If you go read OP's post, she posts more receipts. And yes, authors can block whoever they want, but don't get your PR company to then do your dirty work. Don't go seeking out negative reviews in a reader space, especially if you're not tagged. Don't harass and dogpile someone just because your butt hurt someone had an opinion and posted it on a platform for readers. Regardless of if Ruth didn't know, PR companies need approval from their clients, so I highly doubt she didn't. So She Wolf's Shelf Naja posts a screenshot that Ruth posted that says, no one rallies quite like books to girlies. I see you and love you all with a heart. And they, come back. We got you. We ride at dawn. 100%. We got you. We love you more. And sure, this could be referring to anything, but we ride at dawn? It doesn't look good for her. And so as usual on Threads, everyone has something to say. To Ruth's book being excited that it hit #1 in US on Amazon. So this person, Book Bolero, says, hi, your PR team has been harassing reviews who've been giving you 1 stars on Goodreads, a review platform for readers, and making your street team report said review. This is unhinged behavior and super disappointing that you would have a team who does this. Someone else, ew, considering you've harassed reviewers for reviews that don't like this book, this is not an earned rating. Shame it wasn't legitimately a rating, seeing as you have any negative reviews mass reported. Easy to get #1 when you get your readers to mass report any negative reviews of the book. Ew. Does this go against FTC guidelines, or is it just straight illegal? It's a shame you use review manipulation and harassment of readers to achieve this. But whatever makes you feel good about yourself, eh? Glad to see plenty of people calling you out for it. Sure, Goodreads would love to know you're going against their author rules too. Oh girl, I'm embarrassed for you. Whoopsie daisy. You seem to have really stepped in it by attempting to have a negative review falsely reported and removed. It's extra funny how you indicated awareness that if your scheme were brought to light, it would blow up and become significantly worse, yet you proceeded anyway, goober. And then the original poster of the review, Naja, threw out an update. Little update, WP, which is Wordsmith Publicity, who posted it, is now pushing the story that I harassed Ruth, which is why she blocked me. For reference, our last DM was when her son accidentally called me on Instagram way before Total Shutdown came out and before I left my negative review. Since I'm blocked, I can't grab the chat, but we definitely didn't interact around then, just putting that out there. And another person replies, "Hi, I really think the reason behind all this isn't about leaving a 1-star review, because if you look closely, every book she writes is 1-star review too, but it's more about bringing down the author first and then tearing apart the book. It just seems like you're criticizing the book because you're upset the author blocked you. 2, your opinion is totally valid, and everyone looks for something different in a book. Some will love it, others won't. That's just how it is. But calling someone a fucking child because they blocked you and then going on to trash their entire work comes off as less credible. Sometimes situations like this don't deserve so much hate. There are way worse things on Book Talk, like authors writing scenes involving that. Yet here you all are potentially triggering harassment against someone who, in the end, didn't do anything truly terrible, maybe just not very friendly. I don't know if you received hate in your DMs or comments after a review, and if you did, I'm sorry, that's not okay either. But provoking the same thing towards someone, it's not okay too." And Naja says, "I understand where you're coming from, but I absolutely had the right to call out an author's childish and unprofessional behavior. I've supported her since her debut in May last year. My Instagram has 20 to 30 plus posts featuring her books because I genuinely respected her work. When Total Shutdown didn't work for me, I posted a spoiler-tagged, clearly negative review on Goodreads only. I didn't tag her, didn't spread hate, and continued promoting her release, not even realizing I had been blocked. Yet she still went out of her way to find my review, read it knowing it was negative, and then locate both my Bookstagram and personal Instagram to block me. That's petty and completely unprofessional. So she was fine with my constant praise and promotion, but the moment I didn't like a book, suddenly I'm cut off. And no, I didn't tear the book apart out of spite. That review is in the same detailed style I use for all my reads, including 5-star ones. I don't do surface level praise. I explain my reasoning because that's the kind of reviewer I am. You might think the tone was blunt, and that's fair, but it still doesn't justify the response. What followed was harassment and censorship. My review got mass reported and removed multiple times. Then I got confirmation that the street team was being told to flag it. That's coordinated manipulation of reviews, and yes, that's illegal. I didn't promote hate, I didn't incite bullying. I shared my experience and opinion, and I got punished for it. Had they approached me professionally, or if the author hadn't behaved the way she did, this never would have escalated. But instead of respecting a reader's opinion, they tried to silence it, and that's not okay." This is one of those things for sure that's like a new thing in the age of like social media and parasocial relationships with authors. Personally, I think this is a case of everyone being in the wrong. Ruth and her people absolutely should not have been falsely reporting Naja's review and encouraging others to do the same. But at the same time, Naja should not be continuing to be a part of this street team if she has so strongly disliked the last 2 books by the author. And she also should not be blasting Ruth for blocking her after those negative reviews. And honestly, this whole thing ended up being stupid anyways because they ended up getting positive reviews taken down too while they sort of investigate what's going on. Just received this email from Goodreads. I actually left a good review before all the mess came out. Super disappointed because I wanted to read the next book, but now I won't. Hi Crystal, Goodreads takes the responsibility of maintaining the authenticity of ratings and reviews and protecting our diverse community of readers and authors very seriously. As a part of this, we are removing all ratings and reviews added during times of unusual activity on shots fired, including yours. We have included a copy of your review below for your personal records. Since your review meets our review guidelines, you are welcome to repost it once the unusual activity has passed. You can learn more about our work to protect the authenticity of ratings and reviews on Goodreads in our community update, which you can find here. Sincerely, the Goodreads team. So that's a situation. That is definitely, I don't think what the PR company intended when they sent their people to go report the review. But anyways, in a similar but different situation, An Instagrammer called American Adventurer 11 tagged an author in a 3-star critical review and then was all Pikachu face when the author blocked her. Not sure whether to feel hurt or flattered that Rebecca F. Kenny was so threatened by my 3-star book review that had maybe 6 likes that she took to blocking both my personal and public Instagram. I can enjoy a book immensely and still provide meaningful commentary on it. The end of my review for reference. Despite its unevenness, Ruthless Devotion is incredibly hard to put down. The characters are fierce, clever, and unapologetically messy. The gods are terrifying and magnetic. There's a guilty pleasure in watching Kathy and Heathcliff tear each and those who have wronged them apart and put themselves back together over and over again. That was a weird sentence. It's dark, cathartic, and deeply satisfying in ways that aren't always easy to explain. So the author, Rebecca F. Kenny, posted this on her Instagram, but quickly, I do want to acknowledge that this author has been accused of saying some somewhat insensitive things in the past, and it has absolutely nothing to do with this, but I just want to be clear that I'm not endorsing her in any way. So she posts, this picture of herself was just tagged in a review for Ruthless Devotion that was a strange roller coaster of attempted compliments and harsh insults. Don't tag authors in those reviews. Write them, sure. Don't tag the author. And then the caption says, I wrote the book how I wanted it. It's some of my best work ever. If it's not for you, that's fine, but don't tag me and then pick apart my writing style. Miss me with that BS. And then she has some people supporting her, some of her fans. Okay, so a couple things. The fact that people are still doing this is insane. Imagine someone showing up to your job and telling you everything they don't like about how you do it. Because that's what you're doing when you tag an author in a negative review. Think whatever you want to, post whatever you want to, but just don't make it so the author has no choice but to see it. And even going a step further than someone coming to your job telling it you're doing it wrong. If someone came to my job and told me I was doing it wrong or they didn't like how I was doing something, I would be like, huh, okay. Because I don't put my heart and soul and creative energy into everything I do at my job. I don't really put any of it in. I go to work and I do my job to the best of my ability, and then I come home and, it's just not the same, but I would still be annoyed if someone came to my job and told me everything they didn't like about how I was doing it. So, also, this American Adventurer person didn't even tag the right person in the second post. She just tagged some random person without any posts on her page. So people replied to her, hey, quit tagging authors in reviews with any negative criticism, and then quit doing it again here to scold them for blocking you when you tag them in said reviews. People in general don't owe you access online, especially if you're going to criticize their work. You don't chase someone down to tell them you didn't like their work or how it could be better, and that's what tagging an author in a mid-review is. That's what I said. Quit doing that or we'll all lose access to them because y'all don't have manners. She says, I genuinely didn't think anyone would see this thread. I provided meaningful commentary and tagged them so readers could find their account if this is something they're interested in. You don't need to see an author's account to be interested. If you read a review and then decide you want to read a book from that, you don't need to see the author's account before you go read the book. You just don't. Please feel free to disregard my review. And Mabaduke says no. And Mabaduke knows what's up. So, okay. Maybe this reviewer is new to the book review space on the internet and didn't realize that this was a pretty universally agreed upon, yet unspoken rule. Because that at least would be an explanation. Well, Rebecca, the author, chimes in with her own post and the plot thickens a bit. I blocked the person who tagged me yesterday in the half good, half terrible 3-star review. They posted on another account today, tagged me again, complained about me blocking them, and then posted the good bits of the review, I suppose to prove I shouldn't have blocked them. Sweetie, you just confirmed my instincts were right. Review however you want. That's absolutely your right. I request not to be tagged in negative reviews, which I politely did. Your response to my request caused the block. Anyway, here's the book. It's best for folks who already enjoy contemporary romance with dark themes and supernatural elements. People who would enjoy a smutty Wuthering Heights retelling with banshees and necromancers. And then she says, I didn't even notice that in their new post, they tagged a spam/bot account that wasn't actually me. The algorithm served me their post. And another one, they also posted about you twice and claimed you were threatened by their review. Insane behavior. They're getting shredded in the comments, though. It's not going the way they thought it would. Oh, I should mention they also tagged the completely wrong account when they attempted to tag you directly. Since they said their block, I don't know what they thought they were gaining from tagging you unless their goal was to lead their followers to you, in which case they'll now be harassing some other person. Hopefully it is just like a nothing account. I woke up feisty today, gave her my 2 cents, reported her account for harassment, and then blocked her. Her comment section was definitely not going the way she thought it would. Don't mess with our retellings queen. Thing is, from what I can see, my book is not her usual/preferred genre, which makes the review more understandable. Still, it was really harsh and hurtful in places, and while I have a pretty tough skin, I decided to make my boundary clear, and that boundary was definitely not respected. I appreciate those who understand where I'm coming from. And then the other person says, and while I always encourage people to try out new worlds, if it's not your cup of tea, then just move it along to your next read. There's absolutely no reason to drag an author and their book baby through the mud. She was cruel and there was no excuse for her tagging you and then not removing the tag when you ask. You need to protect your peace. I mean, I think you, I don't want to sound harsh, but I drag an author and their book baby through the mud. I mean, an author, if that's done nothing wrong except write a book you didn't like, yeah, leave them out of it. But like, you're allowed to write a negative review. And I hope that isn't what she meant. I don't think it is. But again, just like, don't put it in the face of the person who wrote the book. Doesn't seem like a hard concept. And if you just like a book that isn't a genre you normally enjoy, then say that. It isn't hard. No one is forcing you to give a positive review, but it is actually extremely helpful to those reading your review to make sure that is noted. My review of a fantasy book is going to be not great just based on the fact that I don't like that genre. And it's silly for someone who does like fantasy to be reading a review from me and thinking, I mean, they have no idea what my taste is. So it's just very silly. Books Thrill Jessica says, I came across her post yesterday and tried to respectfully point out that tagging the author in a backhanded review wasn't appropriate, especially when it comes to respecting authors' boundaries. In response, I was flooded with aggressive replies from her friends. She then ended up blocking me and deleting all the comments. You definitely made the right call by blocking her. I appreciate you. Wow, she sounds delightful. She's now limited replies, which apparently authors aren't allowed to do. Saw her post first and she's defending her stance saying you told your readers to attack her. No. I never heard of you, but seeing your post now, you're doing everything right. Keep doing amazing, BB. Sorry your piece was disturbed. Hope you can reclaim it and then some more. Definitely didn't ask anyone to attack, didn't even name the person or say anything too specific about the review. If anything, I discourage people from piling on. Oh, for sure, the proof is right there in your replies. I scanned them just to see the level of delusion. People are wild. Don't worry, she got schooled in her comments. So, in conclusion, in the past we've talked about authors staying out of reviewer spaces when they are the ones who wrote the book. Authors can be reviewers too, but not to read the reviews of their own books. Reviewers are absolutely welcome to review books however they want to, but if an author comes across it, they are absolutely welcome to block said reviewer. And instead of acting like an author is childish for blocking, maybe ask yourself why they would feel the need to do that. Did you say completely invalid critical things? Did you put it in their face? And at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you did either of those anyways. It's still their right to block you if they want to. But for the love of God, if you are an author or a PR company, please don't send your fans to report any negative review on review sites, no matter how much you disagree with it. Like I said, I think everyone is wrong in that situation. On to happier things. For this video's Indie Author Spotlight, I am featuring paranormal mystery author Amelie West. She writes gothic historical mysteries with a supernatural twist. She's always loved reading, but often felt like she rarely saw herself reflected in the protagonist she was reading about. Writing imperfect women who don't do everything right, but still get their happy ending without changing who they are, has been a healing process for her. So she published An Insidious Inheritance, the first book in her series, in January of 2025. It's a story about a young woman who inherits her estranged and now deceased father's inn at the edge of a small town in upstate New York during the fall of 1933. Once she arrives at the inn and meets the groundskeeper, a handsome man around her age, she starts to have some unsettling experience that seem to point to a haunting at Hollowfield House. Book 2 in the series just released a few days ago on July 17th, and book 3 will be on its way soon. I love a good ghost story, and I really have been reading so much historical fiction in the past 6 months or so, so a historical mystery that maybe has a ghost in it sounds awesome. So down in the description is a link to Amelie's social media, along with where you can purchase her books if these sound like something you'd enjoy. Don't forget, indie authors are a vital part of the bookish community, so make sure to show your support wherever you can, even if that just means a follow on social media. And if you'd like to be featured in my indie author spotlight, I have a form linked in the description. So if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more just like it, make sure you are subscribed. I do also have a Patreon if you are interested in supporting me over there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!